delighted to be joined again by the Jordan Rutherford. Last time we spoke, you was about to go for, I think it was the Kingdom Championship welterweight title, and since then you've won that and the Almighty Championship title.
Yep, I was defending my belt on Kingdom, but same thing.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah. But you're a double amateur champion now in the UK regional scene, and you're going for the hat trick in a couple of weeks' time, aren't you?
Yep, cannot wait, mate. Honestly, it's exactly what I said to you in the last podcast. What I was going to do, I'm just sticking to that, and everything's going right at the minute. So just keep the momentum going, isn't it? So May 18th, I will become UKFC champion, like 100%.
Absolutely. So, are you going to try and go for every single regional promotion, regional title possible?
Do you know what it is? It's not even like that. It's just I don't feel fully comfortable in the cage enough to go pro. Where like I probably could go pro now, but then I'd learn a few lessons on the way, I think. So I'd rather just, as I've got this UKFC belt, it just opens up better opportunities. Do you mean when you've got more belts going into pro? Then I've got the Four Nations coming up that I'm going to be doing with Scotland in the summer. And then obviously that's when I'll look to go pro. But then if not, I think there might be a little thing on FCC where I probably could go for the belt on that in September. And then what's a few more months if I'm going to be one of the most decorated amateur champions. Do you mean? So like up there like Curtis Campbell, he had all the belts and they set him up nicely for pro. Why can't I do the same?
Absolutely, Nathan.
But that isn't the plan. I'm just saying that's the way it could go. Obviously, but I'm not looking past. I'm not looking past May 18th.
Yeah. Nath,
do you think there's something to that in the sense of like, instead of sort of rushing to go pro, you're staying amateur, and as a champion, you're probably going to face like some of the best amateurs across the UK as well.
Well, that's it. Just fighting the best now. I'm challenging for belts against good people. You can only fight who you've got in front of you at the same time. With my last opponent, I had a good opponent in front of me, pulled out. Had to fight Ash Shemmold. Obviously, I can't do nothing about that. I prepared for a fight, and he took the fight short notice. And obviously, I probably won the belt a bit easier than what I would have. Well, you never know. Do you know, it could have been a quicker outcome if I fought the first opponent, but you can only fight who's in front of you. And but obviously, still happy to have collected a belt. But 100%. That is the case when you're amateur. It's just the more experience you have. Like right now, I'm preparing for 5 rounds every fight. Now going into pro, that's going to be a pro fight. So right now you're fighting the best. Your last few amateurs should be tougher than your first few pros, and that's kind of what I'm aiming for now. Like I do want the toughest challenges. Like whoever does want to get in there on when it comes to the Four Nations or the say FCC in September, or just line them up. I want to fight the best people. I'm not in this to not. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd rather test myself now than be outed on the way when it matters in pro. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. No, Kieran Edwards,
in a sense, like your stock as well. Sorry. Like for your stock as a fighter as well, going in and being like, you know, one of the most decorated amateurs, fighting some of the best. Is that would almost be probably more beneficial in going pro?
If I was any younger, to be honest, I probably wouldn't care. But I'm 30 now. Not that it matters. I'm in my prime, do you mean? But I'm in the gym every single day. I'm turning up every day. My mental's there all the time. So I just feel like if you're collecting belts, it just sets you up nicely. More eyes are on you. You've got the belts across the 4 biggest shows: Kingdom, UKFC, FCC. Do you know what I mean? It's almighty. These are all the big shows that like all these guys who make it all were champions on. Do you know what I mean? So it's more just you're going to fight the best, and I don't want to just be sticking to one organisation. Like my first 4 fights were on Kingdom, and honestly, I bloody love the show. I'll make my pro debut on there, but I want to test. Some guys do fight on only their shows, so like some guys will only fight on UKFC, they will only fight on FCC. Now, if that's the case, I've got to go over there to fight them. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at. Like, if that's where they are, that's where I'm going.
Absolutely. I think it's about a case of just fighting the who's who at amateur, isn't it? And the lad who you're fighting for the UKFC welterweight title, Kieran Edwards, he's only had 3 fights, but he's unbeaten. Do you know much about him?
We're actually quite pally, but it's all been put aside for this fight, of course, because it's a fight. At the end of the day, I want what he's got, and he wants to keep what he's got. So obviously, all that will be put aside, and then we can be pally after. Do you mean we already know that? But he's finished all his opponents inside 2 rounds. But then again, mate, he hasn't faced me yet. I've finished all my fights. I've never in a boring fight. There's a lot more for him to worry about than me to worry about. But at the same time, mate, I don't look past anybody. Not now, anyway. Not after that APFC one. I'd rather just keep my head focused and just.
I was going to touch on that one. Do you see it as a good lesson now? Because it was a good opponent as well. Like it wasn't just anybody. It wasn't just.
I just feel like I was just too game for my own good, if that makes sense. Like there must have been 5 or 6 people I was meant to fight for that show, and I got to fight week, and I'd already basically spent my sponsor money on the stuff through camp. Do you mean I'd already sold loads of tickets? So I was just kind of like, names were just getting chucked at Phil, and I was just like, yes. And he was like, Dad, you sure? And I'm like, yep, just get the fight. And he's just like, look, you fucking, not a lot of people have what you've got there. You want to fight anybody and everybody. But after it, he was like, look, there's a time and a place. Do you mean like he was 18 fights in? You were only like 5 fights in. He's like, that is a massive difference. But at the same time, loads of things went wrong on the day. But not taking anything away for Jess, because he was on the same boat. But just all the waiting around, fighting 7 hours after you're meant to, being up and down, being told you're going to fight, and you're not fighting, and watching people coming in, losing, winning, not eating all day because you think you're going to be fighting sooner than what you are, then getting told when it gets to that bit that you're not. So just all different things. Preparing for each other. Obviously, don't get me wrong, I've had a full camp and all that, but then he was on the same boat, so not taking anything away from him, the better man won on the night. I just wish it had been different, because obviously, but I learned. But that's what I'm saying. I never started my fight the way I started that one. Now it's a lesson learned for not starting the way I did. Just not looking past any opponents. Just, do you mean like footage is footage and styles make fights? Do you mean like you might think, oh, he's amazing, him, but then you do better than what the guy who's 10 times better than you does. Do you mean it's just styles do make fights, and that style exactly, he outdone me on the night. So
absolutely. Do you think losing to a guy like I said he was 18 fights in, you was 5 fights in? Do you think you're going to be better off from that down the line, because it's better than losing to someone who had 4 fights, 3 fights?
Massively. The thing is, when I was in there, it's like no matter what fight you're in, I don't know if anyone else does this, so I know a few people do, but when you come out of the fight, you're like, that wasn't even fucking that bad. Like, why didn't I do this? That wasn't even fucking that bad. That was actually fucking. Do you know when you build up to this big thing inside your head before a fight? And I've got better at not doing that. That's something I'm happy with now. Like I'm not doing that now. Do you mean like a fight's a fight, and anything can happen? Do you mean like you could literally be preparing the hardest you've ever prepared and get knocked out in the first by a lucky punch? Do you mean it's like, I try not to read too much into fights now. I'm just trying to just be in the gym, getting a better fighter each time, not specifically getting a game plan going. Obviously, there's certain times for that type of stuff, but just as long as I'm getting better in the gym every day, then it will show on the night. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Nath?
Sorry, I've been a bit laggy, to be honest. So if there's a little awkward bit, that's probably why. If you talk about doing the regional shows, how important are they to MMA and UK MMA as a whole in terms of producing the next prospects that we're seeing?
Massively, because I feel like UK MMA wasn't really a thing until a few years ago. So like now, the fact that Leon's got the belt, Tom's got this, a lot more people want to do it. Like right now, our kids' classes in every gym, they're full. Like it was never like that. Do you mean? So now, like watching all these, you can just see how big the sport's progressing, and it's more just like there is only a few good shows in the UK. So if anybody from anywhere else wants to see any fighters from the UK, there's only a few shows you can find good people on. Do you mean like FCC, UKFC? So you don't have to look far to find decent talent. So I feel like that's a big thing. Like the show's been on Fight Pass and all that now, and things just setting. Obviously, in America, it's probably moving a lot faster, but I feel like in the UK, it's starting to move loads quicker because you've got 2 very dominant champions. Obviously, Aspinall's not fought anyone else yet, but you know what I mean? You've got 2 very good champions where like they're very well the household names in the sport now. So I feel like it's bringing eyes to the UK that it probably wasn't before. I feel like it's good having UK champions, and some of these people I just haven't been recognised yet in the UK. Do you know what I mean? And it will come. Do you mean? But there just needs to be a bit more. I feel like over the next couple of years there'll be a lot more eyes on the UK, and these regional shows are perfect. Because some of these fights you see, even on the undercards of these fights, some of them are better than the pro fights you do see on these big shows. When you watch these amateurs, and some of them actually are better than the pros, but they've got a long way to go. Do you mean before they're even at that stage? But they're fighting better. So I feel like the coaching and everything, like all the next gens, the Aspires, the MMA Academy, all that cowboy, they're all producing good fighters.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it must be like, is that like a good time to be you then, in that sense that you are?
That's
you know, you're sort of the headline.
Yeah, that's it. Like right now, I mean, I've been like main eventing the last like 3 or 4 shows basically that I've fought on, and it's just more just like for my head, it's better. Do you know what I mean? Like I like the fact is that because all these people that are coming up are before me. Now it's not like where everyone's waiting to see me at the end, but they always want to see also who's at the top. Do you mean who's at the top of the bill? So I like that fact that like my name will be getting spoke about in rooms that I don't even know about. Do you mean? So that's obviously a good thing.
Absolutely. Well, obviously, when we spoke last time, you said about that you spent some time on Her Majesty's or His Majesty's, the wrong side of His Majesty's wall now. So, and we've seen fighters like Shamrock, Kane Musa, etc. They've established themselves now as some of the best fighters and biggest names to come out of the UK. Is that what you're aiming for yourself as well, Jordan? To be another example and an inspiration to tell people. I've
never touched on it like that. Do you know what I mean? Like I've never thought to myself, "Oh, Shem and Kane Musa did it, so I'm going to." That's never even crossed my mind. But in a slightly same way, yeah, fucking right. Like, gives you more of a drive than what you ever thought you could. Like I'm in a 10 times better place than I was now before then. Like just, to me, I've just in a 10 times better place. And obviously pushing myself to be better every day, making sure that like when I come out, I didn't go back to anything what I was doing. No matter the money, nothing. Like I just totally went, nah, like this is it now. I don't want to go back there. I don't want to be a bad example for my daughter. I've got to do something. And like I said to you when I was writing letters to Dean Garnett in jail and that, and just actually now show like he can go to that letter and be like, oh my god, he done every single fucking thing he said he was going to do. I'm actually the most dedicated. I'm actually the most dedicated person in Aspire now. So even just like Dean said to me the other day, I got left home and he said, I was like, do you know what? He was like, what do you want to get out of the sport? And I was like, do you know what, Dean? I'm 30. I started it dead late. I didn't really, not looking at to be UFC champion. I'm just trying to get as far as I can possibly go. But stuff like that would open up. The more you're winning, the more you're getting finishes. And he was like, mate, there's no reason why you can't fight in all these big shows. Now that's the last thing I thought Dean would ever say to me. Do you know what I mean? He thought when I come out of jail, I was just going to pitter patter like I was before, and actually to stick to it and actually show him that everything I said I was going to do, I've done, and I keep progressing and keep getting more belts and challenging for more belts and just try to be a good example for people. Because obviously I am older, but that's not what I look at. I'm not trying to. Obviously I am setting an example, but a lot of it's just to be the best version I can be. And obviously being out of jail and that's I'm already doing that every day. Yeah, as deep as that sounds, mate. But that's the truth. Yeah, I just try to better yourself.
That's the true version of it, though, mate. So we talk about you're going to be doing the Tri Nations and stuff later in this year. And you're not going to be turning over pro yet. But if you was to be this decorated amateur champion, which you're halfway there now, you've got 2 out of 4, should we say?
Yeah.
And if, say, the top dogs in Europe offered you a deal when the day that you decided to turn pro, so Octagon, Cage Warriors, PFL, who would you choose, Jordan, and why?
See, right now, mate, it's actually a really, really tricky question because at the same time, I'd hate to be tied down to somewhere because the more I think about it now, I'd love to get to like the UFC and like Contender and all that, but I'm not even like, mate, I've still got a long way to go. But something to get paid, mate. I quit my job last year. I'm fucking skint as fuck. I'd like to make some money, but right now, mate, I'd look to just be the first thing I'd be saying to them is how active can I be? How much money am I going to get? As a progression to leave if you want to leave? How much money
are you offering?
Mate, fucking hell, man, I'd be happy with 5 ton right now. But do you know what, mate? Not looking as a hard question, mate, because I'm not even trying to look past that. I feel like it's just because I've got something in front of me right now that I'm not trying to look too far into the future. Don't want to jinx myself. But mate, just look to make some decent money off it, man. That's kind of what I do. I didn't ever think I'd be thinking about doing this as a job. But obviously, as you get more wins and as you keep getting better and better, now I'm doing it. I'm fully doing it. Like when people say, "What you doing?" I'm like, "I'm fighting." That's it.
Love it.
Yeah, does that hold you in good stead? That sort of mentality of almost take it by day, because I mean, some people get into the sport thinking straight away main event UFC, whereas that's
of course, yeah, that's a drive, but. Mate, honestly, if you seen what I was like 5 years ago, man, like the road I was going down, mate, like it would just be a big jail sentence, and that drives me. Just the fact that I'm just doing better in life. I swear to God, mate, it might sound cheesy that, but I'm just I'm actually happy in life now, mate. No stress, no fucking, just no nothing. I'm actually doing something I never ever knew what I wanted to do in life, job wise, and I'm actually happy turning up on the mats every day. And that just shows me that obviously this is what I want to do. Do you mean? So. 100%.
Yeah. And what
I know it sounds mad.
It's never too late.
No, 100%.
Sorry, yeah.
That's all. But I know that sounds mad, just like the way I'm putting it. But that's just the way I kind of see it. Like I'm not thinking too deep into it. I'm just trying to be better every day. Just get better and better, and just it's like trust the process. Do you mean whatever? If there's something going to happen, it's for you. It's for you. Do you mean? But I'll say whatever. I'm 30 now. I promise myself that. Whatever I can do now, I can do when I'm 35, 36, 37. Trades, all that type of stuff. I can do all that when I turn 35, 6, 7. So I've got another 5 years of trying to make it. Do you mean? Which I'm happy with that goal, that timeline. So.
And in terms of the pro game, is there anything you feel? I know you spoke about comfort before. Is that the sort of getting more used to fighting? I guess is that the main thing you're looking to when you do. I feel
like if like the past couple of fights, obviously my takedown defense is good, man. But I don't know what it is for the past 2 fights, for the first 30 seconds of the fight or first round of the fight. It's almost like if that was pro, would I be getting my face elbowed off? Do you know what I mean? Like I'm just making a couple of stupid decisions, not being as composed as I should be. To the point I should be, and I just feel like if you're going to go pro and you're going to be, because when I go pro, I'm going to be active the same as I've been amateur. I'm going to take decent fights, and I'm going to take a few names that have just went pro now. I won't say them obviously because I'm not there yet. Do you know what I mean? But there's people that are pro now that have got a couple of fights that I'll just be calling out as soon as they go pro because I want to take their place. Do you know? Just really be as active as I can when I turn pro. Get up to like the 5, 6, 7-0 and then be hoping for someone to shout at me and say, look, this guy's flying, but keep getting finishes. I feel like pros suit me better. I hit hard. Got massive leverage on my knees, arms, like elbows, flat knees, like everything will just work better for me at pro, I think.
I love it. Love it. Scotland need another superstar to come through. You might be the next one, Jordan. You've got a good backstory.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. But do you know what it is, mate? You get down to higher level, mate. They're the body. That's the gym there, mate, where you're going to see a lot of Scottish names come out that are going to make it. Such a good gym.
Love it. Let's move on to a bit of fun stuff now.
Let's do it.
Fighters and dog breed. So we'll start with a fellow countryman, Mr. Chris Duncan, current UFC fighter.
Do you know what's mad?
Dog breed
I don't actually know Chris personally, but obviously I know a few people that do know him personally. They say he's an absolute dog in the gym, man. They say he's always knocking out people, and not intentionally. He's not like just getting people out. He's just very good. A Rottweiler.
I like it. Molly McCann.
Do you know what, mate? She's proper sound, but she'd absolutely kill you. So just an American pit bull.
I love it. MVP,
dead friendly, but Japanese Akita.
Oh, I like it. Islam Makhachev.
Do you know what? Siberian Husky.
That makes sense. The BMF, this motherfucker, Max Holloway.
Right. Let me have a little tiny think on this. Right. Are you on the cane Corsos, the black one, the big pointy ears. It's always in pictures, and it looks like the Batman or something. Like that dog, I feel like he's just an absolute. He's just like I was saying. So I live with Jack Axie, and we were talking about it the other night, just talking about the UFC from the other day, and we were saying like Max Holloway wasn't even a stock really anymore, was he? He knocked out Korean Zombie, but he wasn't getting talked about. He can literally fight anybody he fucking wants in the world now after one fight. So it just shows you how quick he can blow up in the sport. Because now he can fight any person his weight or the weight above anybody, and everyone's going to want to see it. So it just shows you how fast this sport can actually. Because he wasn't even like a draw. Do you know what I mean? He was obviously a draw to fight for the belt again at some point, but he wasn't like talked about. Like, now he's the biggest fucking thing talked about in the UFC. So yeah, that Cane Corso, the big black one, because the proper OG dog.
Love it. That suits all the way. That actually.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, a few quick fires is one. I think I've got 5 here. I don't know if you into rap, but one of the obvious ones: Tupac or Biggie?
Oh, Biggie.
Stone Roses or Oasis?
Stone Roses.
UFC or ONE FC?
Oh, UFC. Although one is fucking shit hot.
Yeah. Simpsons or Family Guy?
Family Guy.
John Jones or Francis Ngannou? Now this one we'll do whoever you prefer and who you'd think you'd win. Who'd think you'd win as well?
I think John Jones both.
Right, yeah.
I feel like Ngannou's obviously got power, but it's like even just that agey thing just showed that like if John Jones probably did get a hold of him, he was fucked.
Absolutely. We'll touch on the UFC Manchester card a little bit. Timings, it's not to suit the UK audience.
Yeah, it is crazy that, like, but I feel like if they ever had to do it, I don't know, I just feel like if they ever had to do it for us, because if not, then why the fuck are we doing it for them? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely, like when I was in Thailand though, like a couple of the UFC cards were on in the morning, like the Leon Colby fight, like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. That was perfect. You actually woke up, went to a run or whatever, then went and watched the UFC, and that was actually like, I felt like that was better. Being in the morning, like 9 in the morning, do you mean? But that was them. I think it's mad. I think it's crazy. I think there's too much going on in Manchester to be letting people out at 4 in the morning. Do you know what I mean? Like that's how fights are going to start happening. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the UK is quite renowned for that type of stuff. So I just feel like I feel there's going to be a lot of trouble because of that time. You know what I mean?
They almost take away the because you spoke about in one of your previous fights, you're not knowing when you're going to fight. I guess when these guys are on a UK card, they expect to sort of be fighting at 5 or 6, and instead they're fighting at 3 o'clock in the morning. Does that almost take away the home field advantage in a sense?
Yeah, 100%. But obviously, look, you've bloody the UFC fighters, man. If that's the way it's got to be, if that's like little hiccups in the thing, then it's obviously. But I don't think it happens enough for it to for people to be ready for it. Do you know what I mean? So, but I get why they're doing it because obviously it's all the American audience. There's a lot of American. Like if Thomas Miller's fighting Curtis, American. If Ian Gary is fighting Colby, American. Do you mean there's gonna be a lot more pay-per-views coming from America, and he's doing it for the money.
I was going to say that. Yeah, it's
doing it for the money
amount of pay-per-views.
Well, that's it because all the other UK cards have been early. So why the fuck is this one late? Like it's got to be. Must be just be money hungry because fucking how much more must we really be making to be sticking to it and going through it? Do you mean must be a lot?
I think when Bisping won in Manchester, I think that was a nighttime card, and I remember when, and I was there. Ricky Hatton fought Zhu at Manchester, and that didn't start till the same time as well. And everybody knows what we're like over here. We're fucking carnage, aren't we? We can go all night, us Brits.
Yeah, that's what I
think. The energy will still be there from the fans.
I think if fucking 20,000 people are coming at an event at 4 in the morning, there'll definitely be trouble. Like.
Oh yeah.
But that's on them, man. Let them deal with that. Do you mean? But I actually can't wait to see the card. I think it'll be a brilliant card. Like,
is there any fights in particular?
Well, I don't even know how the card's going to go, so I can't even say.
Right,
but I'd love to see that. What's his name? Ian Gary Colby, because I don't not like both of them, but I'd like to see like how it would go. Like because either way, one of them's losing that you don't half like so. Like I seen Ian Gary on thingies on the comment section. What's that? I'd like to see him fight. Mate, I'd like to see him fight a big name, but there's only really going to be that Curtis lad because he want to get it back for the foot injury or the ankle, whatever it was. I can't remember if it was ankle or foot or leg, but he'll want to get it back for that reason. So I feel like that'll be who he'll be fighting, which will still be a good fight. Tom is shit hot, isn't he? So be good. But I'd like to see the Leon one. I don't want to see Leon.
Filled it with UK and Irish talent.
Yeah, that's it. I think so as well. I mean, I think they will in the undercards and all that type of stuff, like the prelims and stuff. But I feel like it would have been good to see Leon Shavkat or something rather than Leon and fucking Bilal. I'm not saying fighting it, but it's just going to be it's going to have to be a boring fight, isn't it?
Absolutely. So we'll keep our eyes and ears open, waiting for announcements. Jordan, It's been great to chat with you, brother.
As always, mate. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.